A casino doesn't need luck to make money. It doesn't need to cheat you, rig a machine, or hope you have a bad night. It just needs you to keep playing because built into the rules of every single game on the floor is a mathematical guarantee that over enough bets, the casino always comes out ahead. It's not a trick, and it isn't hidden in fine print somewhere. It's arithmetic sitting in plain sight. And understanding exactly how that arithmetic works explains almost everything else about how a casino is built, from the lighting to the layout to the free drink in your hand. That guarantee is called the house edge, and it's remarkably simple once you see it. Take American roulette. The wheel has 38 numbers, including a 0 and a double 0, so your true odds of hitting any single number are 1 in 38. But if you win, the casino only pays you as if there were 36 numbers on the wheel. That tiny gap between the true odds and the payout odds is where the casino's edge lives. In this case, about 5.26% of every dollar wagered over time. Play $100 a spin on roulette at a typical pace of around 40 spins an hour, and the math predicts you'll walk away, having lost roughly $210 on average in that single hour, win or lose along the way. Every game on the floor has its own version of this gap. Blackjack, played with perfect strategy, can get the house edge down to around 0.5%, among the lowest of any casino game. Slot machines sit at the opposite end, often somewhere between 2 and 15% depending on the machine and jurisdiction. None of this requires any single player to lose on any single bet. It just requires enough total bets across enough players for the law of large numbers to turn a small percentage into a guaranteed profit. Because the math is guaranteed, the entire physical design of a casino exists to serve one goal: keep you playing long enough for that percentage to do its work. It's one of the most studied environments in behavioral design. Slot machines are engineered to celebrate almost every outcome, including losses. Chimes and flashing lights trigger not just for real wins, but for near misses, where two matching symbols land and the third barely slips by. Neurologically, a near miss can register in the brain almost like an actual win, which is exactly why it keeps players reaching for one more spin. The layouts matter too. Longtime casino designer Bill Friedman pioneered a maze-like floor plan. Low ceilings, narrow winding paths, and games clustered so densely that finding your way back to an exit takes real effort. You've probably also heard that casinos remove clocks and windows to make you lose track of time. That part of the story is a little more contested than it sounds. A review of over a dozen academic studies found no conclusive proof that clocks or windows alone change how long people gamble. Casino executives have offered a more mundane explanation too. Sunlight creates glare on cards and screens. Either way, the effect is the same. Once you're on the floor, almost nothing in the environment is designed to remind you it's time to leave. Underneath all of this sits the real engine: variable ratio reinforcement, the same reward pattern that makes slot machines so difficult to walk away from. It's a schedule where a reward might come after one pull or after 50, with no way to predict which. Behavioral psychologists have long shown this exact pattern produces the most persistent, hardest to break behavior of any reward schedule there is. More powerful than a reward that arrives on a predictable timer. Your brain isn't failing you when you want to spin again. It's responding exactly the way this specific pattern is designed to make it respond. For the biggest spenders, casinos add an entirely separate layer: the comp system. High rollers, sometimes called whales, can wager anywhere from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars in a single session, and in return, casinos shower them with free suites, private jets, and personal hosts. It can look like the casino's giving away the house, since it isn't. Every comp is calculated against something casinos call theoretical loss. the amount a player is statistically expected to lose based on their average bet size, the game's house edge, and how long they play. Casinos typically return only 20 to 40% of that theoretical loss back as comps, even for the most pampered whales. A guest who is mathematically expected to lose $2,400 might receive $1,500 worth of rooms, meals, and shows, a great deal for the player's ego, but never a break-even deal for the casino. Some of history's biggest whales have lost extraordinary sums chasing this treatment. One Las Vegas gambler is estimated to have lost over $100 million in a single year alone, and reportedly more than $200 million across just a few years of play, all while receiving the private jets and penthouse suites that made him feel like the casino's most valued guest. Even at the most generous comp rates casinos offer, the math never actually flips in the player's favor. It just gets dressed up well enough that it doesn't feel that way. Here's the part that might genuinely surprise you. Gambling itself isn't even where most of a modern casino resort's money comes from anymore. At MGM resorts, for example, the casino floor accounts for roughly 51% of total revenue. Hotel rooms make up about 21%, and food and beverage another 18%, with the rest split across entertainment and retail. Gaming is still the single largest category, but only barely half. Decades ago, restaurants and hotel rooms were often priced at a loss, treated purely as bait to get you onto the casino floor. Today, those same rooms, shows, and restaurants are profit centers in their own right, stacked on top of a casino floor that was already mathematically guaranteed to win. Put it all together, and a modern casino resort looks less like a single bet and more like several guaranteed businesses layered on top of each other. The games win on math alone, regardless of any individual outcome. The building itself is engineered, down to the lighting and the sound of every machine, to keep you inside longer. The comp system extends free-feeling perks that are quietly priced to still leave the house ahead. And even if you skip the tables entirely, the hotel room, the dinner, and the show are all still generating profit on their own. None of it requires deception. The odds are usually posted, the math is publicly known, and none of it is hidden. It just requires a business built on a simple premise. Let the customer choose, freely and repeatedly, to keep playing a game they were mathematically never going to win in the long run. So the next time you walk onto a casino floor, remember, you're not really playing against the dealer or the machine or even bad luck. You're playing against arithmetic that was settled long before you ever sat down. If you found this breakdown interesting, subscribe, because next time we're looking at a company that spent decades convincing people to pay full price for something that used to be free. See you in the next one.